Oh, I don't know how in the world I'm going to get to sleep tonight after everything that's happened today.
Yeah, it was an exciting day. No, I don't know what was more exciting, the trial or the party this afternoon. No, let me get that. I'm expecting a call from the client.
Late?
Yeah, hello.
Draper, it's Logan. I hope I didn't get you out of bed.
Logan? No, but if you had waited 10 more minutes.
Well, I'm sorry to bother you at this hour, but you did ask me to call any time when I got news of the trial.
You got news? What is it? What's happening?
Well, I found a message when I got home this evening. Judge Lewis has reached the decision he wants all the principals in court tomorrow morning, 10:30.
Now, that was fast. I mean, that must be a record for Lewis. He likes to chew these things over forever.
Well, he digested this one in a hurry. I just wish I knew whether that was good or bad for our side.
Look, let's not prejudge it. Let's just wait till tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. Get a good night's sleep, show up in court in the morning. Might even do that once I get all the rosebuds on the wallpaper counted.
Look, I think you should get a good night's sleep. Because in the coming weeks, I think you're going to be up all night taking care of your baby.
Well, from your mouth to God's ear. I want to apologize again for Raven this afternoon and the way she spoiled our party.
Look, she didn't bother me at all. Don't worry about it. Nelson take her home?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm surprised she let him do that.
I don't think she was in any mood to resist. I think it's just possible that this is the first time in her life that she didn't get her own way.
They're not going to take you away from me, baby. Nobody is going to take you anywhere. Because if they try, I'm just going to take you away first. Just ready to fall into a nice long sleep, weren't you, you little brat? Hello.
Mrs. Swift, Jason Rutledge. Sorry to call you so late.
Yes, it is very late. What do you want?
Well, I tried to reach you earlier, but your sitter said you weren't home.
Well, of course I wasn't home, or there wouldn't be a sitter, would there?
Pardon me?
Never mind. Look, it's just very late. What can I do for you?
Well, you see, it's very important. We're due in court tomorrow morning at 10:30.
Why?
The decision. The judge is ready to hand it down.
Well, I thought you said that wasn't supposed to happen for a few days.
Well, I honestly thought it wouldn't be, but apparently Judge Lewis is ready to make the decision right now.
Is that good or bad? Never mind. I already know the answer. It's bad, isn't it? We're going to lose.
Well, now, I wouldn't say that. You heard the judge's opening remarks about how it's customary for the mother of the child to be awarded custody.
Unless she can prove to be unfit. And with that letter in the court, we don't stand a chance.
I still think there's a fair chance of the decision going our way. In any case, we got to be there. Shall I pick you up?
No. I know the way to the courtroom. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Yes, hello. I would like some flight information, please. Do you have a flight leaving tomorrow afternoon for London? Good. The name is Swift. Raven.
Well, guess I'll be saying goodnight to you, Mike.
Oh? Oh, I didn't realize it was that late.
That's because Nancy isn't here to tell you that you're working too hard.
Yeah, that's true. Plus the fact that I've got such a heavy workload. Which is why I haven't had a chance to talk to you, Kelly, about what happened that night at the Unicorn.
Oh, I thought you would have heard the whole story by now, Mike.
Yeah, I heard about it from Nancy and Draper, but not from you. Not that I want a blow-by-blow account.
There was only one blow, Mike, a right cross.
I see.
Well, you know why I hit Elliot Dorn, don't you?
Because of Jody?
I'm not trying to be a hero or anything. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to feel that I was pretty stupid, especially going back to the Unicorn that night.
Yeah, that's the part that creates a problem, isn't it? The fact that you went back there, but then your statement that you never even entered the place.
Yeah, well, I didn't, Mike.
You just turned around and walked away?
Well, I thought it would have been really stupid for me to go back into the Unicorn after it had closed. Well, Elliot Dorn could have accused me of trying to rob the place or something.
Yeah, well, obviously you did the right thing, but in a way, I wish you had gone back inside the place.
Mike, that would have meant that I would have discovered the body.
That's right.
Are you trying to say that if I had gone back... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess that would have looked better for me, wouldn't it?
At least it wouldn't have left any doubts about where you were at what time.
Yeah, but the police could still suspect that I murdered Elliot Dorn. They could have suspected that I went back into the Unicorn, I got into a second argument with him, and went into the kitchen to get a knife. They could even suspect that I used one of my puppets as a glove.
What did you say?
Well, it's just that I heard that there weren't any fingerprints on the knife. Isn't that true?
Yes, I believe it is.
This certainly isn't the time of the year when people wear gloves. So it was logical for me to assume that... What are you looking at me like that for, Mike?
You just made a very provocative statement, Kelly.
Now, wait a minute. Everything that I said is not true. I didn't go back into the Unicorn. I didn't have a second argument with Dorn. And I certainly wouldn't have used...
What were you going to say, Kelly?
One of my puppets. One of my puppets is missing, Mike.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I had a dozen puppets at the Unicorn. Then when I went back to collect them, there were only 11. The clown puppet, the one with the red hair, that's the one that's missing.
Did you tell the police about it?
No, I didn't think it was that important.
Well, it might be. I think you should let the police know about it.
Yeah, I really should, but... Look, Mike, I'm not too crazy about the idea of getting in touch with the police for anything right now.
Because you think you're their number one suspect?
Well, I know that Deborah Saxon's on my side, but I don't know about the rest of the police force.
Kelly, they're not going to jump to conclusions. As a matter of fact, I heard something kind of interesting at lunch today.
What's that, Mike?
Well, you've met my associate, Cliff Nelson, haven't you?
Sure, I met Cliff.
Well, he fancies himself something of a detective these days, and he feels sure he knows who killed Elliot Dorn.
You like it, huh? I made it myself. My psychiatrist says that it explains a lot of my behavior.
Well, that explains a lot.
So you're still doing your own laundry, Cliff?
Oh, yeah, that's therapy, too, isn't it? Oh, don't think that Raven didn't try to get away. You see, it was dark. Somebody had turned off the electricity in the place.
Aha, nobody left to pay the bills, huh?
Yes. So I tricked her. I made her think that I left the Unicorn, and I snuck back in. She made a mad dash for the door.
How did she find out how to go?
Well, she had a flashlight.
Well, it must have really scared you, huh?
Not me. I was cool as a cucumber. I always am when I get in a pickle. You guys missed that one. Cucumber, pickle?
No, we'll forgive you that one due to the lateness of the hour.
Yeah. Oh, you know, we're going to have to get going pretty soon, Calvin.
But wait a minute, don't you want to hear the rest of the story? How I found the letter?
Yeah, if you ever get around to it.
Okay. I put myself in Elliot Dorn's mind. I said to myself, if I were a letter, where would I hide? What are my interests?
Money, women.
Right. So money. Might be in the safe, right?
He didn't hide it in the safe because we searched.
All right, so it only leaves women.
Yeah, we didn't search any of them.
You're very, very cute. You should have searched this.
Oh, no, it was in this magazine?
Yep, a new kind of centerfold. A letter addressed to Logan Swift, D.A. Hey, you know, he's dry pretty quick here.
Red, I thought you went through that magazine when we were looking around.
Well, I did, but I didn't get very far.
You know, Cliff, that's really good thinking. Maybe you should join the police force. We could use a clever guy like you.
Yeah, Cliff is very clever, seriously. Cliff, why don't you tell Calvin what your other theory is?
What theory?
Cliff thinks that Raven didn't just go to the Unicorn one time after hours.
Oh, I'd believe that. I mean, she was having an affair with Elliot. We all knew about that.
Raven was in that Unicorn looking for the letter, but how did the letter get there in the first place?
Now, that's the part we can't figure out.
Well, see, it doesn't make any sense that she would let Elliot take care of that letter for her.
Right. I mean, she was trying to get rid of it from the very beginning.
Why didn't she just tear it up when she got her hands on it? Do you think she would really trust Elliot Dorn with that letter?
So you think that she didn't give it to him, that he stole it?
Or he was waiting downstairs when she threw the letter off the terrace, and then he kept it.
Yeah, but why?
Because he's a blackmailer.
Now, why would he blackmail Raven? I mean, they were so lovey-dovey.
Well, I haven't figured that out yet.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you guys should ask some questions.
Yeah, maybe we ought to question her officially.
You mean you two really think that Raven stuck that knife into Elliot's back?
Calvin, you remember what the chief told us about what Elliot said to Raven the night he was killed?
Right, he was going back to the Unicorn to find a document.
Yeah, and he was going to see her in court.
That's what gave me the idea to go to the Unicorn in the first place. Now, if she were threatened by him, let's say that he would find the letter and take away her son, maybe turn the letter over to me.
Then that might be motive for murder, mightn't it?
How'd Logan sound when he talked to you?
All right, I guess. Nervous, though. Didn't sound absolutely convinced that the judge was going to make his decision in his favor.
Well, none of us are sure.
I sure hope we didn't jump the gun on that party today.
No, I don't think so. I think we all needed a change, needed to feel happy.
Logan did, that's for sure. I just hope there isn't a big letdown tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm glad that all his friends are going to be there. I mean, everybody else, us included. And that's what we are, right?
Of course we are.
You know, I don't dislike Logan. I mean, my feelings for him haven't changed because of what happened between the two of you.
I know that. But I also know that you wouldn't be human if you didn't have some negative feelings.
Well, I don't want to have them. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of them. I don't blame him. I mean, he doesn't deserve any blame. He just, well, it was only natural that you fell in love. I don't blame him for falling in love with you. I don't blame anybody, any man, for falling in love with you.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what? I fell in love with you. The first time I saw you at the sunroom at the Claremont.
Oh.
I did. You want to know something else?
What?
I love you more right now than I did then.
I hope so. And I love you more. You want to know something? I plan on loving you more and more and more as every day passes. Oh, isn't that something to look forward to?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice looking forward to the future. But what I'm thinking about is right now.
Scarlet Library lead pipe.
That's that. Well, Cliff, it's been a very interesting evening. Thank you.
Hey, look, you guys come over any time. I might take you up on your offer to join the force.
Well, if you do, just let us know. We'll send you an application to the police academy.
You mean I gotta go through the academy? Can't I just join as a detective?
It doesn't quite work that way. You gotta walk a beat for a while.
Not me. I get corns when I walk too much. Maybe I could just do consulting work. You know, anytime you guys get a case that's too tough, you just call up Cliff Nelson, private eye.
Well, sure. But for now, and for your own sake, you should keep all your theories to yourself.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to talk to too many people.
Could get you into a lot of hot water.
With who? Raven? What's the worst you could do? Sue me? You guys forget, I know a cheap lawyer.
Look, it could be a lot worse than that. People get killed for fingering other people.
Raven? Look, she may be angry, but she's not a murderer.
Well, therein lies your contradiction, lawyer. I mean, if you think she was capable of sticking that filleting knife into Elliot Dorn's back, why not yours?
Yeah, you're right. I I already told her my theory, too.
You told Cliff, what's the matter with
Well,
you?
it's a technique of cross-examination. You know, you surprise the witness, and sometimes they say incriminating things.
Look, Cliff, you get any more bright ideas, just keep your mouth shut. First of all, they won't help you, and secondly, they might hurt our investigation.
Yeah, right.
We gotta go. Come on, Calvin.
Better safe than sorry, huh?
All right. Good night.
Good night, Calvin.
Cliff, look. Take care of yourself, okay?
Thanks for warning me. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry than dead. That was a mistake. I should not have told Raven my theory. Yeah, you're right. I shot off my big mouth again, didn't I? Why would I go warn Raven? She could do anything now. She could skip town. She could skip the country. I mean, she could even... Oh, no. She wouldn't do that, no. She had to kill Elliot Dorn because he found the letter and was blackmailing her. And, you know, he would take her kid away from her. What could I do to hurt her? Yeah. What could I do to her? I'll tell you what I could do to her. I could get her arrested. I could send her to prison for murder. Oh, Raven wouldn't like that. Not one bit.
Starting awfully early today, aren't we?
Yes, Ellen. She is she? We'll send her in. I've got a feeling if this coffee doesn't wake me up, you're going to.
Good morning, Derek. I trust you slept well.
You went up and about so early today.
I have to be in the courtroom in an hour. The judge is going to tell me today whether I get my little baby back or not.
Good luck.
I was hoping you could go with me.
I'm sorry, my schedule makes that impossible. And besides, what could I possibly do there?
You could support me. You don't know what it's like in that courtroom. Nobody there cares about me.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
The fools are acting like I committed some kind of a crime. This whole town is against me.
You know, Raven, if you spent as much effort trying to make friends as you do alienating people, you might have quite a fan club.
Oh, you think so? Well, no one in this town understands me. As a matter of fact, I might as well buy a one-way ticket somewhere, and everyone would stand in line to help me pack my bags.
Feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to solve anything.
Oh, really? Would you miss me?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Well, I'm flattered. You'd be the only one. Maybe we can become pen pals.
Running away never solved anything either.
Maybe I have somewhere to run to.
Leaving Monticello would be tantamount to an admission of guilt, just letting everybody know that what they think about you is really true.
Who cares? Because none of it matters.
Well, in my book, only a criminal runs away.
Well, Cliff Nelson already thinks I'm a criminal. As a matter of fact, I'm really surprised that he and Deborah Saxon are not here right now, trying to figure out a way to send me to prison. Or have they figured it out already?
haven't seen Nelson recently, and Deborah's not due in yet.
I haven't been that lucky.
Although I tell you, I'm considering setting up a meeting with Nelson. I'd like to hear him put enough words together so as to give me a reasonable explanation for his unauthorized visit to the Unicorn.
Cliff Nelson has a very, very bad habit of poking his nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah. It's bad enough that a private citizen would commit an act like that, but you'd think if anybody would know better, a lawyer certainly would.
You know, Derek, everything is done with. So why don't you just save yourself the aggravation and drop the whole thing?
No. No, I'm not going to drop it. He committed an unlawful act.
Come on, why don't you just forget about it? Don't see him.
When you came in here, you were real upset about what he did. Now that I try to do something, you want me to drop it?
I just don't want to provoke him, all right?
Provoke him into what?
Cliff Nelson is a clown who by some fluke managed to get a law degree. Now, if you make trouble with him, then he's going to try to get even.
Why are you so scared of Nelson?
I am not scared of Cliff Nelson. If you make trouble for him about his break-in, then he's going to tell everybody about my break-in, if that's what you want to call
You had
it.
a key of your own. You had more right to be there than he did.
All right, you know that and I know that, but Cliff Nelson is going to omit that little detail and make me look like a crook.
All right. All right, I don't suppose anything would be gained hollering at Nelson. I'll drop it.
Good. I think that would be the sensible thing to do.
All right, with all of this out of the way, are you still concerned about Nelson?
Yes, because he has a very big mouth.
Is he been saying things against you?
Cliff Nelson would love to defame my character, if only to get into Deborah Saxon's good graces.
Nobody is going to do anything to you.
Well, then why don't you come to the courtroom and see for yourself?
Because in an hour I have to meet with the commissioner, and before that I got a meeting with Miles Cavanaugh.
Well, Derek, if you were there, he wouldn't dare say anything about me.
I'm sorry, Raven, it just cannot be done.
Yes, I know. You're a busy man. All right. Then I won't take any more of your precious time.
I'm sure everything is going to work out all right.
Yes, it will. Because I'll just have to fend for myself as usual.
Cliff Nelson reporting for duty, sir.
Oh, good morning, Cliff.
Certainly is. Saw a beautiful sunrise this morning.
You got up early, didn't you?
Do you know that they collect the garbage in my neighborhood at 4 a.m.? I never knew that before.
Sounds like you didn't get much sleep.
Not a wink.
What's the matter? Something upsetting you?
Well, Deborah and Calvin came over last night, and you know cops. They love to tell you stories about killers and people who commit mayhem.
And you let that get to you?
Oh, I have been dealing with some very dangerous people lately. You never know when one of them might be out to get you.
Good morning.
Morning, Draper.
Anna told me I could find the two of you in here. Don't you think we better get going if we're going to make court in time?
Well, I just hope Cliff will be able to stay awake long enough to hear the verdict.
Burning the candle at both ends. Or don't tell me you finally got a date with Judge Wellington's new legal assistant?
Wishful thinking.
I'm afraid the latest addition to our firm had a bout with insomnia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Cliff.
Oh, after this custody case, I'll be able to close my office door and put my feet up on the desk and get some sleep.
Snoozing on company time.
Well, after today, I won't have anything else on my desk. I have nothing else to work on. I hate not to be able to earn my keep, but there's nothing else.
Wait a second. I know something you could do that could occupy your time.
I don't do windows.
No, we have an unofficial client that you might want to look after, if it's okay with Mike. Kelly McGrath?
Oh, that'd be fine with me. I'd be happy to advise Kelly.
You know, that's a good idea, Draper. I would like someone here to keep on top of Kelly's predicament.
Oh, Mike, there is no way that he killed Elliot Dorn. Because I know who killed him.
Kelly, what are you doing here? I thought you had a job interview this morning.
Oh, I do, but I had a delivery to make first.
Oh, Kelly, they're beautiful. Well, come on in. Sit down.
Thanks. No, I'm not sure about this office job. There's two drawbacks. First of all, I won't be able to see you. And second of all, I won't be able to work with my puppets.
Well, do your puppets after work.
I'm just not sure how I'm going to feel about working in an office, but I need a job. I can't ask Mike and Nancy for money.
I know. I'm going to have to start looking for a job myself. Hey, if this company needs somebody with absolutely no business experience or office skills, tell them you know the perfect person, okay?
You got a deal. Hey, listen, now, my job interview's scheduled for 11:30. I've got time to drop you off over at the dance studio if you'd like.
Oh, thanks, but, well, I got kind of a late start this morning. I haven't even had breakfast yet.
You can blame that on me, can't you? Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Mrs.
Listen, I am so sorry about oversleeping.
It's okay.
Jody will tell you that's not usually like me, till recently.
Well, how are you feeling?
Not so hot.
Nicole, why don't you go upstairs and lie down?
I'm really sorry you're not feeling well, Nicole.
Oh, I'll be better. Well, what shall we have for breakfast?
No, I'll take care of breakfast. You take care of yourself.
Okay. You've convinced me. You know, I know what might make me feel better would be soaking in a hot tub for a while.
Oh, good. You upstairs and take a bath. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything down here.
And I hope you feel better.
Oh, thank you, I will. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm so worried about her. This anemia thing really takes a lot out of her.
Yeah, she did look pretty pale.
Well, I guess I'm off to the kitchen.
And I'm off to my job interview. I'll give you a call later and tell you how it came out.
Kelly? Well, if you have time, I could make breakfast for both of us.
I'd like that.
Come and get it.
Jody, you didn't have to go to all this trouble. Cold cereal would have been fine.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's what Miles keeps telling me.
Now, this is pretty terrific. Thanks for inviting me to stay.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Besides, I'm glad for the company.
Yeah, I am too. And being here gives me a chance to prove one of my theories.
What's that?
That you look prettier during the day than you do at night.
No. Need to flatter the cook.
No, I mean it. Well, most of the time we've been together has been at the Unicorn, under those flashing disco lights. You do look prettier in the daylight.
Thank you, Kelly. That's a nice thing to say.
I just call him as I see him.
Well, then I'll take that as a compliment, because I'm not wearing any makeup.
You don't need makeup to look good.
Don't say that. You'll come back in a few years and I'll answer the door with mud pack all over my face.
By that time, I'll probably be so old I'll be wearing glasses this thick and I won't even notice. To me, you'll always be special.
If you'll excuse me, I think the coffee's ready.
Lighten up, McGrath. You're trying too hard.
I hope you like my coffee. I put a little cinnamon in it.
How'd you know that was my favorite? You know, Jody, I got to admit, I'm more than a little bit surprised about this meal.
Is it that bad?
No, it's that good. I mean, for someone who spends as much time in a dance studio as you do, I'm trying to figure out where you had all the time to learn to cook so well.
Mother was the necessity of invention.
Wait a minute, don't you have that backwards?
Maybe, but I meant what I said. When I was living in Chicago, my mother hated to cook, and when she did, the results were barely edible.
You mean you taught yourself all this?
It was either that or starve. After a while, I started doing all the cooking. You know, sometimes I wonder how my mother's doing since I'm not around. TV dinner business is probably booming.
Have you been in touch with your mom?
No, I haven't, not in months.
She must be worried about you.
Curious, maybe. Worried? I doubt it.
You know, I bet she'd be a lot happier if you tried to get in touch with her.
Yeah, I suppose I should write or call. Tell her I'm not dead somewhere. Not that she'd care anyway.
I'm sorry that you and your mom don't get along so well.
You know, I think I'd get a kick out of calling her. Telling her for that the first time in my life I'm really very, very happy.
I'm really glad you feel that way.
For 18 years, I had almost no reason to be happy. And then everything changed when I came to Monticello.
You know, when I came here, everything changed for the better, too.
Well, if I had known what was waiting for me here, I would have arrived a lot sooner.
Ooh, sounds like you're really in love with your new home.
Oh, God, I can't believe my luck. I have a sister who cares about me, and I love her. Well, she is the absolute best husband. And then there's my career. It seems to be going in the right direction. I have Gavin to thank for that.
You have me, too.
Sure I do.
Oh, you just don't know where to categorize me, right?
You're my friend.
Right. I'm your friend.
Why do you look so unhappy?
Oh, I'm not unhappy. One can never have enough friends, I guess.
Then what's the matter?
Jody, you must know how I feel about you.
Well, I assume you like me.
Ever since that first night when I laid eyes on you at the disco, I realized that I met somebody very, very special to me.
Well, that works out pretty well. I like you too.
What I'm trying to say is that I was hoping that we could be something more than just friends.
What'd you have in mind?
I was hoping that we could become very close friends.
I'd like that.
Well, Myers is a known dealer. I suppose he might have double-crossed one of his suppliers and wound up dead as a result of it. I'll give that to homicide. Thanks.
Just doing my job.
Miles, how's Nicole? You told me she wasn't feeling well.
She's no better, no worse at the moment.
Exactly what's wrong with her, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, she let herself get run down. She's got a kind of anemia.
Anemia? Is that serious?
It could be. We're trying to keep close tabs on her.
I figured she must be feeling badly. It's been quite some time since I've seen her do the news.
Well, I'm sure she'll be back soon.
Well, please tell her that a loyal fan wishes her the best and hopes to see her back on the air real soon.
All right, I'll tell her that. We both appreciate your concern.
I'll tell you the truth. Now that this Myers case is a probable homicide, I don't know when I'm going to be getting home in time to watch the news. Between that case and the Dorn murder investigation, I am strapped for manpower.
You any closer to finding out who killed Dorn?
Well, I've got a half-dozen investigators out right now, verifying the alibis of numerous people who all admit to disliking Dorn.
That could be a life's work.
He will not be missed in this town. Looks like it might be quite a while before I get a break in this, but I'm going to find who's responsible.
Well, I'm sorry that the autopsy I did didn't give you a little bit more to work with.
Maybe it can.
How so? The man is 6 feet under.
Maybe you can still clear up a few points for me.
All right, what do you want to know?
The angle at which the knife went at Dorn's back. Do you think you could make a guess as to whether the assailant was left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed, I would say.
All right. Now, sometimes we can judge the strength of an assailant from the force by which a wound is inflicted.
You want to know whether it's a man or a woman, huh?
That's exactly what I want to know. Come on.
Well, I tell you, the knife was razor sharp. I don't think it would have taken very much force for it to go into Elliot's back where it did.
Oh. Well, thanks anyway, Miles. Not much force, huh?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but my stomach's in knots.
You won't be long now.
Just like to get it over with, that's all. I think I'm going to have to hold on to the table while Judge Lewis is reading his decision to keep my hands from shaking, you know?
Logan, everything is going to be fine. You just wait and see.
Logan, the chances of our winning the case are excellent.
Thanks to Carr, Scott, and Nelson, I had quite a team of lawyers backing me up.
You deserve custody of the child. All Mike and Cliff had to do was point that out to the judge.
Cliff, Mike, I want to thank you for all you've done. No matter how the judge decides to resolve this, I know that you did everything under the sun to help me, and I'm going to be grateful eternally.
Well, I certainly hope you can bear with the decision regardless of how it goes.
I've had my day in court. I don't have much choice.
You've had a lot of wonderful people in your corner during this whole thing.
Yeah. I've been awfully lucky to have people like you to rely on.
Just hang tough, Swifty.
Oh, look what the ill wind just blew in.
All rise. The family court of the county of Monticello is now in session. The Honorable Aaron C. Lewis presiding. Be seated.
The decision for custody is very difficult at best. So many issues have to be taken into consideration that are not black and white, but are subtle shades of gray. Ordinarily, it's not a question of determining that one parent is good for the child and that the other is bad, but which parent will put forth the better example, which will be the better provider, protector, teacher, who can and will provide the necessary ingredients that will afford the child the opportunity to develop in a happy and healthy environment. Now, I want to assure both parties that I have entered into this matter with an open mind and have studied each and every piece of evidence that has been brought before this court most carefully. And it has become clear that there are distinct differences that exist between the two parties pertaining to their desires and their motivations for custody, as well as their willingness and their ability to assume responsibility for the welfare and future happiness of the child in question. More often than not, the mother is presumed to be the party best qualified to serve as a single parent. Mrs. Swift presented herself before this bench as a loving and a devoted mother, a woman willing to go to great lengths for the sake of motherly love. I must confess that I was very moved by her testimony. It was becoming increasingly difficult for me to go against a long-standing precedent, until that most heralded letter appeared before this court. Mrs. Swift's willful and shameful attempt to deceive this court renders the previously mentioned precedent invalid. It appears quite obvious that Mrs. Swift does not have the welfare of her son at heart. At the same time, Mr. Swift has impressed the court that in his care, Jameson Swift will never lack for the love and attention he needs and deserves. And based on that conviction, I hereby award custody of Jameson Swift to the father. Court's adjourned.
All rise.
It's one terrific way to start the day.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it's going to get even better when you call me up and tell me you got that job.
Yep. You know, I bet you I get hired on the spot. I feel so good right now I could go out and take on the whole world.
Kelly, did you like breakfast?
Well, sure. Why?
Well, because you left half of what was on your plate.
You piled them too high, that's all.
Be honest.
Well, I didn't ask for seconds, but it wasn't because of your cooking.
Well, don't tell me you're on a diet.
After this morning, I might have to start one.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
I ate breakfast earlier today.
This is your second breakfast? You must be stuffed.
Bursting at the seams, but that's okay.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have understood.
No way could I turn you down.
Oh, you're crazy.
Hey, listen, why don't you fix a breakfast tray for Nicole? If your cooking does half as much for her as it did for me, she'll be out jogging by lunchtime.
We were having such a good time, I forgot about Nicole.
What's the matter?
Well, she's been up there a long time. I hope she's all right.
Logan, I simply can't believe it. My little boy is coming home.
Watch that stuff, our little boy.
I'm sorry. My grandmotherly pride has overwhelmed my good sense.
You're forgiven this once, and speaking of good sense, I just thought of something.
What?
We're not ready for him to come home yet. The crib has been in storage so long, it's probably got mold on it.
Oh, for heaven's sake, stop fretting. All that's been taken care of.
What?
Right after Judge Lewis handed down his decision, I called Bennett's and ordered everything Jamie could possibly need. Well, maybe a little more than he actually needs, but then why take a chance?
Oh, you didn't.
I can't tell you what pleasure it gave me to make that phone call. I put everything on special delivery, and it's being delivered here this morning.
You know what you are? You're Superwoman, Nancy. You probably got a big red S on your chest.
Super Grandma will, too. But now, please, let's get down to business. It's time to make that phone call to Raven.
Yeah, I better let her know I'm on my way over. You know, I don't even know what Jamie eats anymore.
Oh, let me worry about that, will you? And tomorrow we'll make an appointment with his pediatrician.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to do everything I can to make this transition as easy and smooth as possible, Logan.
You're fantastic. You want to get married?
Hello?
Hello, Raven, this is Logan.
Yes, I knew you'd call this morning. You want to make some gloating remark, right?
No, I'm not interested in gloating, just Jamie. I want to come by and pick him up.
What's the hurry?
I didn't think you'd want him on your hands any longer than necessary, so I thought I'd come by and get him.
Well, no. Logan, look, he's a mess. I have to feed him, I have to bathe him, I have to clothe him. He won't be ready for at least 2 hours.
All right, I'll be there in exactly 2 hours.
All right, I'll tell him to expect you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, guess I'll go by the office and clear up my schedule for this afternoon, then I'll pick up Jamie. Raven says she needs a couple of more hours.
Oh, really?
And in exactly 1 hour, Jamie, you and I are going to be on our way to the airport. And then we're going to go to England. Would you like that? Yes, we'll go to England. Isn't that fun?
Funny, you know?
What is?
Well, starting the day off like this. With you cooking me breakfast and my heading out the door toward the office. It's almost like we were married.
Oh, not quite. For one thing, this isn't our house. And for another, you're going to your uncle's office, not yours.
Well, that's true. And if I was going off to work, you'd be kissing me goodbye.
Have a nice day, Kelly.
Can I have a kiss?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hurry up, because I want to check on my sister.
Okay, call you later.
Nicole? Nicole, are you in there? Nicole? Nicole?
Come on in, Mike.
You have good reason to be pleased with yourself, Cliff. You really pulled the rabbit out of the hat this time.
Look, Mike, I'm not going to fool myself. You're the one that pulled the rabbit out of the hat. Or I should say the letter out of the magazine.
Well, it was just fate, that's all.
Can't believe that I had Raven's letter right here all the time and never knew it. And then you walked into that courtroom and there it was, our whole case. Oh, a sweet victory.
Well, the victory was Logan's, getting his little boy back. He's going to be in your debt forever, Cliff.
You mean it's going to take him that long to pay his bill?
You were responsible for that letter turning up. If you hadn't searched Elliot Dorn's office that night, you would have never found that magazine.
Yeah, I guess that's right. All's well that ends well.
Yep. This case has ended happily. Now let's hope that the Dorn case goes well, too.
You know, I might be able to pick up some points on that one, too.
Yeah, you mentioned something about that at the Scotts yesterday. As a matter of fact, I quoted you last night, Cliff.
You quoted me? To who?
To whom? To Kelly McGrath, my nephew. As a matter of fact, he's going to be here any minute in the office to see me.
Well, why didn't you quote me to Kelly?
Wanted to ease his mind a bit. As you may know, he's painted himself into a corner in this case. Not only did he have that fight with Elliot Dorn that night, but he decided to go back there to retrieve his puppets, probably about the same time the murder was being committed.
Yeah, I know. Deborah told me the whole story. Not that she thinks he did it, you know. She has great instincts, Mike, and she doesn't see how he can be involved. It's all too obvious.
Well, just because something is obvious doesn't make it false.
Yeah. Logan used to say that all the time, too.
Anyway, Draper's talked to Kelly. But if you have any ideas...
I do, Mike. I'd like to take Kelly on as a client.
Well, he's not a client yet.
Well, I'd like to ask him a few questions anyway. I'm very interested in this Elliot Dorn thing.
Well, I told Kelly that you have an idea who might have committed the murder. You're not ready to reveal your theory yet, are you?
No, Mike. I'd rather wait, you know, get all my ducks in a row, so to speak.
Of course, Sherlock Holmes never produced a solution until he had all his facts.
Elementary, my dear Watson. You simply invite all the guests into the living room.
All the suspects, Holmes, and then you spell it out for them step by step. And then you tell them one by one why they didn't commit the murder.
Until you get to the real murderer. And then you point the finger.
Well, I really appreciate it, Cliff, but I don't know if I can tell you any more than what I told Draper.
Well, I appreciate you going through the story again. You see, I have an advantage over Draper. I know the investigating officers very well.
Just for your information, Cliff, there are 8 investigating officers. Now, you only know 2 of them.
But they're 2 of the best, aren't they?
You mean Detectives Saxon and Stoner? Yeah, but they haven't taken me off their suspect list yet, have they?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, they haven't. But I'm sure that'll change when they find out your background.
Your background?
Well, yeah. Mike and Nancy, and of course your parents. That's not to say that would mean anything if they come upon any real hot evidence, like, let's say, your fingerprints on the murder weapon.
There were no fingerprints, Cliff.
All right, or Elliot Dorn's blood on your handkerchief or one of your puppets.
A puppet? Why did you say that?
You are a puppeteer, and a puppet could be used as a glove. Look, I don't want to depress you. I'm on your side, believe me. And as I said, so are Deborah and Calvin.
Maybe I'd better tell him, Mike.
You didn't tell Draper, I understand.
No, I didn't.
Tell me what? What are you talking about?
About my background. See, when I was in Rome, I got into some trouble over a young lady.
Ah, beautiful senorita, huh?
Wrong country, Cliff.
No, she wasn't Italian or Spanish. She was American. She's the daughter of a diplomat. You know, I thought Karen was really into me until I found out that she had another boyfriend. He was Italian. She was using me to try to make him jealous.
Turned out she was playing a dangerous game.
One night, she called me up and asked me to meet her in a secluded spot. So I did. 3 men jumped us, all with hoods over their faces. They beat me up and they attacked her.
Wow.
You know, wow is right. The worst part came afterwards. When the police interrogated Karen, she accused me of attacking her. She didn't mention a word about the 3 guys who jumped us.
Why'd you do that?
One of the 3 men was her boyfriend. It was an act of revenge, and she didn't want to turn her boyfriend in.
So she turned me in.
But she didn't bring charges against Kelly. She was just trying to get her boyfriend off the hook. Kelly was no more than a sacrificial lamb.
See, now, that's why I left Rome. Because my parents were suffering so much from the scandal.
That is some background.
You haven't changed your mind about helping me in case I need it?
Oh, no, of course not. No.
Good. Oh, wow, Mike, listen, I have that job interview at 11:30.
Oh? Well, then you better get going.
Yeah.
Kelly, incidentally, I promise you a better dinner tonight than we had last night. Nancy will be back home.
That'll be good for both of us.
Good luck in the interview.
Thank you.
So long, Kelly.
Thank you, Cliff.
Well, Cliff, still enthusiastic about your assignment?
Well, yeah, I know who killed Elliot Dorn, and it wasn't your nephew. Just I wish all that stuff in Rome didn't happen.
Well, we can't change the past.
Did he tell you this story, or did you find it out from somebody else?
Eventually, he told us about it, but only after his parents had written it to us about it.
And you're sure that it happened the way he said?
We assume it did.
I mean, I believe him, Mike. I wish we had some evidence to corroborate his story. Oh, Anna, can you give me the AP here in Monticello?
Who are you calling, Cliff?
A friend of mine, Pete Carstairs, I played football with him in college. He wasn't very good. Anyway, he's a reporter now, a foreign correspondent type, and he was in Rome about 4 or 5 weeks ago, working for the AP there. You don't mind if I call him and ask him a few questions, do you?
No, I don't mind. Not at all. If you really think it's necessary.
I feel like an idiot. I mean, slipping in the bathtub and bumping my head.
Yeah, but you didn't slip in the tub. You weren't even in the tub yet.
Well, don't expect me to remember details.
Jody, what do you remember? What was that made you go in there looking for Nicole in the first place?
Well, I was worried about her. She was taking an awful long bath. So I just decided to go in and see if she was okay. You weren't feeling well. You told me that yourself.
What was same old stuff? Weakness? Dizziness?
I was feeling a little bit achy, and I thought a hot bath would make me feel a lot better. And as a matter of fact, I still think a hot bath would make me feel a whole lot better. So why don't you two just leave me alone so
I don't have any intention of leaving you alone. If nothing else, you must have given yourself a bad crack on the head when you fell down. I don't feel anything. Does it hurt?
No, it feels a lot better. Listen, I told Jody I didn't think it was necessary for you to come. I knew you'd just take it too seriously, and I see you have.
I take anything that happens to you seriously, especially when you almost break your neck.
Well, I don't know. The floor may have been slippery. I might have dropped some soap.
All right, now look, I want you to be completely honest with me. Did you slip?
No. I was pushed. Are you satisfied?
Please, I just want to know whether you had a dizzy spell, if you fainted.
No, I didn't faint.
You're sure?
Yes, I am sure. But I was dizzy. And I think that's why I slipped. I was standing at the sink and I was washing my face and I put the towel over my eyes and I became very disoriented and I didn't know where I was and I think that's when I lost my balance.
So you didn't slip on any bar of soap?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want me to get that?
Yeah, please. All right, listen, I'm not going to yell and scream at you.
Hello?
You're anemic. You have the right to have a dizzy spell once in a while.
Who's calling, please?
Well, I'm glad you're not going to make a fuss.
Well, I didn't say that, did I?
Miles, it's for you.
All right, let me get it downstairs. You stay here and you take care of slipping, Beauty.
No.
He'll be with you in a moment. Come on.
Okay, Jody, I have it. Yes, Jeremy. Thanks for calling back. Well, it's Nicole, of course. She's had an accident. She says she slipped in the bathroom, hit her head, knocked herself out. No, of course I don't think it's that simple. I think it would have happened wherever she was. I'm afraid she may be worse.
Okay, baby, you're next. Now, don't fuss because you and I are going to get in a taxi cab and we're going to go to London to visit the Queen. Maybe, if everything works out all right, I'll be the Queen and I can buy Buckingham Palace and we can live there. Would you like that? You would? I told the taxi driver to call on the intercom.
Hello, Raven. I hope you don't mind if I come in.
What are you doing here?
Well, I see you're all prepared. I assume these are Jane's things.
Yes, I told Logan that he would be ready in an hour or two.
And I see you've packed his things in your best luggage.
That's all I have is my best luggage, and don't worry, I expect Logan to return it.
Yes, of course. Well, I must say you look very well.
Well, thank you. I didn't think I should be a bad sport. What I want to know is, why are you here?
I thought I could be of some help to Logan, to both of you for that matter. I thought I'd be able to make the transition a little bit easier for all of you.
Exactly how?
By finding out what Jamie is eating these days, about his schedule, his routine, his clothing, and so on.
Look, I thought Logan got custody, not you.
Logan is bound to be a bit confused for a time. After all, He hasn't been around his son for a good many months, as you well know.
So he sent you for a crash course in baby care.
My dear, you are the last instructor I'd seek in that subject. And no, Logan did not send me. He doesn't know a thing about it. He's at his office.
Yes?
Mrs. Swift?
Yes.
Taxi's here. I'll be waiting downstairs for
In
you.
a little while. Look, will you please leave now? I have about 1,000,000 things to do.
Raven, I see no reason why you should adopt this kind of negative attitude. Not now.
Will you get out of here? I do not want you in my house. Haven't I made that clear?
What's happening here? All this luggage. Surely Jamie doesn't have this much clothing. Raven, these are your things.
Of course they are. I'm going on a trip. Just as soon as Logan gets Jamie. I need a rest. Now, what's so strange about that?
I don't know. There's a taxi waiting out there. You were planning to leave.
Oh, don't be
Where
ridiculous.
in heaven's name do you think you're going? For your sake, I hope you're not planning to do anything illegal like trying to kidnap Jamie a second time.
Are you crazy? I wouldn't do that. I don't want to go to jail. The taxi is probably for another tenant.
That call from the lobby, that was from the taxi driver. He addressed you by name. All of this luggage is packed. Jamie
Get
is
out of here! If you don't, I am going to use the phone and call the police and have you thrown out!
Very well, Raven. I'll leave. But on my way out, I will ask the taxi driver if he is waiting for a Mrs. Swift and son, destined for the airport. And if he is, I can assure you, I'll call the police myself.
No, don't go! Geraldine, please look. I'm his mother. Don't you see how hard this is for me? He's my baby. Jamie, I don't want to lose my baby.
Not a bad performance, Raven. Now you can stop all this nonsense and unpack these bags, because you're not going anywhere. I'm dismissing that taxi. And then the three of us are going to sit down and wait right here until Logan arrives.
Oh, Mike. Look, Mike, tell me honestly, are you upset that I called Pete to find out about Kelly's story?
No, Cliff, I admire your thoroughness. Not that it would make any difference. You see, I still believe Kelly's story about Elliot Dorn, no matter what you find out from your friend.
You're probably right. I trust Kelly, honestly.
Well, so do I. But let me know if you hear anything, okay?
All right. I'm sorry. I know I've been ignoring you. But I've been very busy lately. Hello, Anna. Oh, you bet. Put him right on. Buongiorno, Pietro. How's the big football star?
Ha! So, you finally decided to pay me that 20.
Do I owe you money?
No, but I say that to all the people I haven't heard from for a long time. You never know.
Same old Pete, huh? I would have thought that Italy would have changed you.
It did. I must have put on 30 pounds. The food is unbelievable,
Look, enough of this small talk, all right? What I called you about was a rape assault case involving a diplomat's daughter.
Yes, my little backup quarterback. I've got your message right here. I didn't have to dig out any file on this case. It wasn't too long ago, and it's still pretty fresh in my mind. As a matter of fact, it caused quite a sensation.
Well, what happened?
Well, you got the basic story, right? The daughter of somebody from the trade mission was going with this young American guy named Pollock.
Pollock? Pollock, that's not his name.
Well, sure it is. I remember from the headlines. Kelly Pollock. His father was an architect.
Pollock? You know, you're right. His father's name is Pollock, but the name he's using here is McGrath. Kelly? That must be his mother's name. You think that's because of the headlines?
Well, the kid, he claimed he wasn't the one who attacked the girl. He said 3 guys beat him up and dragged him off. There was only one thing wrong with it. The girl said it was him.
Well, didn't he offer any alternate theory?
Yeah, a lot of us had an alternate theory. This girl was trouble, Clippy, with a capital T. She had this Italian boyfriend. She kept him dangling from a string, trying to make him jealous.
Yeah, I heard about that. Obviously, she succeeded.
Yeah, she didn't know she was playing with dynamite, though. Anyway, McGrath, Pollock, the American kid, Said that it must have been her boyfriend, and now she was protecting him.
Well, what do you think happened, Pete?
I think he was telling the truth. I'll tell you another thing. This kid has a pretty mean temper, too.
But you're absolutely sure he did not attack that girl. You're right.
Well, look, don't quote me on that, you know. I'm not sure of anything. And I guess we'll never know for sure now.
Well, no, we might be able to locate this girl. She might come forward and change her story.
No, the girl and her family left Rome over 2 months ago. And as for her Italian boyfriend, he'll never say another word. He's dead.
Dead?
Yep. Stabbed to death.
I mean, stabbed?
Uh-huh. Just before McGrath, that Pollock, whatever you want to call him, just before he went back to the States. Now listen, I gotta go. I got a deadline. And Cliffy, call me again when you do owe me money. Ciao.
Yeah. Bye, Pete. Stabbed, huh?